أكبر الله أكبر.
They were so precise and direct and never wavering about what they were about. They were really an intimidation to quite a number of black people.
There was a time when we used to drool in the mouth over white people.
The Nation of Islam advocated racial separatism and rejected nonviolent resistance. The nation's most popular spokesman was Malcolm X, one of many who converted to the nation while in prison.
They call Mr. Muhammad a black supremacist because he teaches you and me not only that we're as good as the white man, but better than the white man. You find that old pale thing laying out in the sun, trying to get to look like you. That old pale thing.
Civil rights leaders called this group of Muslims thugs and urged the FBI to investigate. The leading civil rights organization denounced the nation's separatist philosophy.
Preaching of racial hatred and racial advantage and the bigotry involved is a bad thing, whether it's colored or white. For years, the NAACP has been opposed to white extremists preaching hatred of Negro people, and we are equally opposed to Negro extremists preaching against white people simply for the sake of whiteness.
Meanwhile, the Nation of Islam pursued the hearts and minds of black America.
As many of us today walking around praying and hoping that the white man will soften up. There's nothing in him to soften up. He was created evil.
I have to be very honest. I did not agree with the civil rights movement. I did not feel that turning the other cheek was what we needed. I thought it left our people vulnerable, particularly our women. They turned fire hoses and dogs on our people. It brought tears to my eyes when I saw those women being turned upside down with those fire hoses. And we in the Nation of Islam just did not feel that was appropriate.
See, it's important for us to understand that the Nation of Islam was the only religious and community of black people who were unashamed of being black. Now, with that proclamation being so strong, and with separatism as a dimension of that proclamation, where black people don't have to be with white people in order to be full human beings, that hit the civil rights movement and the mainstream black church movement really hard, and it shocked us, because the dominant ethos in the 50s and the early 60s, the first half of it anyway, the dominant ethos was integration, which means assimilating and going into white institutions, even white churches and etc., white schools, white everything. Now, and here was Malcolm in the Nation of Islam saying no to that. Well, that was frightening to us, because deep down we knew they were telling the truth. But we didn't want to hear that truth.
You say we are on the road now to a better world.
Although they would never become converts, many black people outside of the Nation of Islam secretly admired its outspokenness and openly applauded their do-for-self economic creed.
There was a sense of loyalty. Also, I remember, and we often say it now, those of us who were in the nation, the loyalty in terms of do for your brother what you would do for yourself or sister. We never heard sister as much as we heard brother. But all of that, you know, the nation building the coming together, the doing for self. All of those were very attractive to me.